Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning into this video. Today I'm going to go over why I bulk load and how I save money while doing it. Before I started bulk loading, I was spending about $30 to $40 at a time whenever I would order more film to go out and shoot. I try to cut costs a little bit by buying the 24 exposure rolls versus the 36 exposure rolls, but nevertheless, I was still spending a great deal of money to go about shooting in this way. So I started looking into ways to save money while shooting film. I came across other videos by YouTubers who would express how they had managed to save money by bulk loading themselves. As I looked into it more, I realized how much money I could actually save. Normally, you get about 100 feet of 35mm film for a lump sum of money. So going into this, I knew I was going to make mistakes because I have been making mistakes left and right since I have started shooting film. Mistakes bother me. I'm kind of type A when it comes to mistakes. I'm a perfectionist, so I get really irritated when I not only make a mistake, but when I'm wasting money as well. I mean, sure, hindsight, I'm sure I'll feel better about the experience of it all, but in the right here and right now, I'm really upset that I just wasted money. So, going into my bulk loading experience for the first time, I wanted to make sure that I was smart about it. So my line of thinking was, okay, if I'm going to make mistakes on my first attempt to bulk load, then I need to do my research. The one thing I didn't want to spend too much money on that I knew might end up being a waste was the film itself. So what I did was I looked online for the cheapest black and white films that I could find. Because even though I realized that color negatives are a bit cheaper than black and white film, I'm also developing my film at home myself. So as I'm not developing color just yet, I've taken this year to only focus on black and white. I wanted to make sure that I found a black and white film that I could get for a really cheap price and not want to cry about if I ended up messing it up. The two films that I came to find out were the cheapest were Arista EDU and Kentmere film. I'm fortunate enough to live in a big city, Los Angeles, so I called one of the closer film houses near me, Freestyle Film, and I just asked them what black and white films they actually had in stock and which was the cheapest one that they had in stock. They had the Kentmere film cheapest in stock. However, at the time, when I asked about how much their 100-foot film was, they either didn't have it or it was not the cheapest price that I had seen for it. So what I ended up doing next was going to eBay. When I was on eBay, I was looking for Arista EDU film at 100 speed, and I was looking for a Kentmere film at 100 speed as well. I ended up coming across a pretty good steal. There was a seller who had Arista EDU 200 on sale for $25.99. So I was like, well, that's a great deal. I put the request in, and I don't know, maybe a couple hours or the next day, I got a message from the vendor saying that they couldn't sell me the 200 because this film wasn't in good shape or something like that. However, this was a really good seller. They said that they would replace the film with whatever other film speed that they had available. So it was either the 100 or the 400. At the time, their 100 was $36.99. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the 100 for $25.99. Why not? It's probably the best deal I'm gonna find at this time. And it was. Bought that film. I watched a bunch of YouTube tutorials on how to bulk load. For the most part, it was tricky for me because you can't see inside the bag, which makes perfect sense. It has to be all blacked out to put it into your bulk loader. But first of all, let me rewind really quickly. What materials I needed to bulk load? Well, I needed a bulk loader, and I needed scissors, and I needed tape. So not too bad. The bulk loader I got for $18.99. I got it used off of eBay. These bulk loaders tend to run between $18 and $20 on eBay, and I think it's a pretty good buy, honestly. You're going to be using it for a really long time, and $20 is not going to kill me. So I was like, go for it. So the film came in this, and it was wrapped inside of a bag when you opened it. So it was wrapped. Yeah, the film was inside of this bag, basically. It was tightly wrapped in this bag, and it was all coiled up. And I was lucky that the bulk loader I had came in the original box with the instructions. And they carefully told me to make sure that I held onto the film as tightly as possible in my palm as I tried to put it on the spindle inside of the bulk loader. This was a bit tricky only because while you're gripping it very tightly, you have to place it onto this kind of metal rod, basically a metal rod, and you get your little circular inside of your 100 foot of film. You have to put it on the metal piece here, and then you want to find the beginning of your film and weave it through the opening in the bulk loader, which is like the feeder. So you put it through the feeder to get out. It was pretty tricky for me. I don't know, at the time I wasn't sure if it was like a film or if I just didn't know what the hell I was doing or what the issue was, but it took me maybe 20 minutes to get from having the 100 feet of film firmly in my hand. I'm going to show you guys some footage of me loading up canisters of film with Tri-X 400, which is a film that I really like and a film that I got for my birthday. It's what I asked for my sister for. I was very happy that she ended up getting this for me. On Adorama.com, this film is roughly $4.49 per 36 exposures. That adds up quickly. Thanks, Valencia. I'll show you guys some footage of me loading a couple canisters with the Tri-X 400. Okay, so I don't have footage of me putting the film into the bulk loader because I was trying to do an over-the-shoulder shot and I ended up not getting any of me actually working on the bulk loading in the bag. So, learning experience. If I do it again, I'll try something a little bit different. But I do pick up right here where I am loading film onto a canister. So, you'll see here that I use this masking tape. I got the cheap kind because I find the cheap kind is very sticky. I got this at Staples. It's like 3 of them for like $2 or something. Here you'll see that I use 2 pieces of tape, and I've learned that when I'm out shooting a roll and I get to that last exposure and you feel that resistance, if it's not tight on the canister spindle inside, then it's going to give and you're going to end up having to wind your film in the dark bag inside the camera instead of just having the canister hold it, have that spindle hold it and then rewinding it like normal. So yeah, I have taken to applying 2 pieces of tape to the inside of the canister and to make sure that the film is secured and that I won't have any problems when I go to rewind it once I finish the roll. Okay, so here you'll see me kind of trying to demonstrate which way to turn it to make sure that the bulk loader is sealed. I have to count in my head up to 30 for each revolution because the counter on my bulk loader is slightly off. So I just do 30 cranks to have an idea of how many exposures I get. So 30 cranks typically get me between 31 to 33 exposures on a roll. Once again, I am making sure that I am locking the bulk loader. I don't want any light to touch my film. The first time I did this, I was turning it the wrong way, so I definitely have light leaks on my Arista EDU 100. This Tri-X, I didn't have any patience for mistakes, so I was over checking to make sure that when I went to open the bulk loader, it was locked, the gate was locked, and when I went to load it up again, it was locked, and then when I went to crank, it was open. So I was meticulous on this one. Here I am cutting the leader so that when I go to feed it into my camera, it just goes in a little bit easier. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be in an L shape. I have a bunch of empty film holders, so yeah, because I bought so much film in the beginning, so now I have all these empty ones. always make sure to label each film holder because I need to know exactly how many cranks I put on it. I need to know which film this is. I need to know what date I loaded it. Alright, let's jump over to Adorama.com to do some price checking. First film up, Arista EDU 100. You see here, it costs $449 for a 36 exposure canister. For the 100 feet, it costs $49.99, so $50. Not too bad, honestly. It's a cheap film. Okay, the 400 ISO is running for $65, $60-ish. The 100 ISO is running for about $65.99, so a little bit more on eBay. Let's jump back over to Adorama, check out this Triax. All right, for the 24 exposure, it's $449. Let's see about that 36 exposure. 36 exposure is about $5.79 per 36 exposure roll. All right, we got the bulk here for 400. It's running for $79.99 on Adorama.com, which is about, that's the average price you'll find. Let's check it out on eBay. All right, individually, they tripping about that $10. Okay, $6.95 for expired, $8.95 for some fresh ones, 2015 fresh. Huh, man, even when it's old, they try to charge you. Let's check this bulk out, 100 feet. If I can get the wording correctly. All right, $84.99, $64.99. That one looks pretty cheap. Let's dig a little deeper. I'm just checking it out because it was a bit underpriced. Okay. All right, so it's expired 2008, so that's why it's a little bit discounted. Let's look at this bulk loader while we're on eBay. Right, 63, 30, 97, 15. It's really a range for these things. So yeah, that sweet spot's around $15 to $20. You can get yourself a good bulk loader on eBay. That works. A lot of them come in the original box with a manual, so you're not left out there not knowing what you're doing. My bulk loader is a Watson. All right, let's jump in with some quick math. I spent about $26 on my first 100 feet of Arista EDU at 100 ISO at 18 canisters. That brings me to about $1.44 per canister, which is pretty good. For the Adorama price at $50 for 100 feet of Arista 100, you're gonna spend about $2.78. We'll round up, $2.78, which is not that bad, honestly. Next up, let's do this Triax. At $78 roughly, which is about what I paid for it. At 18 canisters, I ended up spending $4.33. The obvious pro of bulk loading is that you save money on film, which is why I initially got into bulk loading. A con of bulk loading is you can't send your film out to be processed by a company because they typically do not take film that has been bulk loaded. Okay, I get it. You don't know what you're gonna find, right? However, if you're processing your own film at home, this is the best way to go about saving money. I also encourage you to process your own film at home. I know many people who spend $20 per roll to get it developed by an outside company when that's money you could save, especially considering that if you shoot film, you're probably shooting a lot of rolls at a time. So why not get more involved in the process? If you're not someone who necessarily has the patience for bulk loading and then processing it yourself, then you do what you got to do. Send it out. Find a good company that is cost effective and produces a good product, and I fully support it. If you have any additional questions for me on how to bulk load, where to go about getting supplies for bulk loading, please feel free to ask me in the comments. If you yourself bulk load, let me know what kind of film you're currently using. How are you saving money? If you bulk load, let me know what kind of film you're loading up right now. Let me know what kind of canisters you use too, because I have had a time of it trying to find the perfect canisters. Also, if you bulk load, let me know what kind of canisters you're using, because I've had a time of it trying to find the canisters that best fit my hands because I've been told they're small. Although I think they fit my body and they're not abnormally small, but they're small and they're a bit, they're a bit soft. I use a lot of lotion, whatever. However, I have had trouble with the plastic canisters. I've broken like 2 of them, which is why I started using the metal canisters. But I've also tried the canisters that have the leader on it already, and you just put tape on your film and that leader and it rolls it in for you. Let me know which canister you're using. If you like this video and you're interested in more content like this, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. And leave me a comment below if you too are also thinking about getting into bulk loading or you've been bulk loading for a really long time. All right, take care.